welcome back to another episode on the podcast for Animal Chiropractic. Today we have Dr. Rachel Eken. She's an on-site chiropractor at Hand and Paw Chiropractic in Colorado Springs, where she cares for both performance dogs and their people. She's a graduate of the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point and also from Palmer College of Chiropractic. She also then went on to complete her certification for veterinarian spinal manipulative therapy training at Healing Oasis Wellness Center. With 7 years in practice, Dr. Rachel focuses on helping canine athletes thrive from puppyhood to senior years, providing supportive care that enhances comfort, mobility, and peak performance. She is deeply involved in the dog show and the performance community, actively competing in conformation, agility, obedience, dog diving, and water work with her Portuguese water dogs and Black Russian Terrier. Now, Dr. Rachel, did I miss anything on there?
Oh, I think I need to actually update that. I've been in practice for just shy of 13 years now.
Well, it's way off then.
Yeah, I probably should have updated that. Apologies.
It's all good.
And I also have Central Asian Shepherds to the mix. The Black Russian, we lost a couple years ago, and now I've got livestock guardian dogs on my ranch. But with Portuguese water dogs, that's still there, still going strong.
Awesome.
Nice.
Now, Dr. Rachel, I met you here in Colorado. I work out of Castle Rock, you're out of the Springs, and I got started with animal chiropractic later than you did. Being a former athlete myself, I jumped into the dog performance world because I thought it'd be a very fun community to be a part of. And we were introduced by a fellow colleague that's also a animal massage therapist. And I found out that you used to own the shows. That's what I was told. So my first question is, what drew you to animal chiropractic? And for me, more importantly, what kind of got you into that dog show world?
So I love this question. So animal chiropractic, I kind of dove head first. One of my first dogs, actually my first Portuguese water dog, when he was a young show dog, he came up real sore, real lame one day at the dog show. They went, okay, we'll give him some pain meds, and he was fine. 2 weeks later, he woke up and he couldn't walk. Couldn't get up. It was awful. It was a Saturday morning. We run him to the emergency vet. Turns out he could walk. He was just wildly painful. Fast forward, they kind of thought it was a variety of things from a herniated disc to meningitis. It actually ended up being a wicked case of Lyme's disease. So he was medicated. He got, the whole gamut of meds. The veterinarian on staff that saw him at the emergency clinic wanted to do exploratory spinal surgery, CT, and an MRI. And I was in college, wasn't exactly feasible for me at the time. So once we kind of ran on we knew it wasn't meningitis, we did a spinal tap for that. So we ran on, it was really, really rough case of Lyme's disease. So he had all the meds on board, and I'd been seeing a chiropractor myself, and I texted him, this is rural Wisconsin for you, I texted him on a Saturday, and I was like, oh my God, what do? I heard your wife does animal chiropractic. So she meets me on a Sunday morning at her clinic. I carry my dog in, and the dog walked out. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to be a dog chiropractor. That was it. That was it right there. So that's kind of what got me into dog chiropractic. My water dogs my first two came from my aunt who breeds them in Wisconsin. So that's kind of how I got into the show world, is because she showed them and bred them. So I got a dog from her. Therefore, I had to show him. And some people kind of show and they kind of move on and go do other things. I was hooked right then. I wanted to do the whole game.
That's awesome. And one of my big things that I know when I first met you, because coming from the chiropractic world and now you're in this dog performance world, I think there's a big difference between, what you would see in your regular brick and mortar clinic and then what you would see in the athletic world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of my first questions was, one, what clinical pros or what skills do you bring to the table for a dog show that would be necessary for the athletes at hand, right? And then two, how were you able to carry over those clients into your regular practice?
So to kind of being interwoven in that world, I don't know if this is where you're going with this question. There are certain injuries, just like with every sport, that you see pretty frequently. Agility, that wicked iliopsoas injury everyone talks about. There's some nuance to the dog show world, because everyone goes, oh, well, it's not like they're running agility or anything. No, there's still injuries associated with it. So when I started my practice, I came in and I dove right into being part of the kennel club. So I actually built my practice immediately in that world, as opposed to outside the world and then brought them to me from the world. I kind of started and dove right in. I never came from outside and then decided to go into the world. I basically started my practice in dog show land. So because I had been in those worlds already between agility, obedience, conformation, whatever. That helped me speak their language. So with, certain dog show injuries, you don't really see them anywhere unless it's in the dog show land. And I already had that skill. And talking their lingo, like when someone says, "Oh my God, I won best of breed," or "I took a group 3," that meant a lot in that world. That's kind of what helped me build my practice.
Now, have you ever decided like, oh, maybe I wanted to split between human chiropractic and animal chiropractic, or once you were in college, you're like, nope, this is what I'm doing. Like, I am only purely just going to be a canine chiropractor.
So, as a general rule, I'm 60/40, 70/30, usually more dogs than people. I have often thought maybe I should just work on dogs, but there's a lot of people that come in with their dogs and they want two birds, one stone, man.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I see the whole family. Rarely children in my practice. I see dogs and their people. So,
love it.
yeah,
My kind of people.
yeah.
So, what's something like, do you ever notice, when you have, since you're in a lot of the sports world for canines, that, they start to mirror some of their humans? Do you notice a correlation like that? Like if it's right sided on the human, like kind of like we do in the equine world, it's like, huh, maybe you need to be adjusted
Do
as well as,
I
yeah.
do see some of that. I have
Yeah.
yet to come up with a theory other than I don't know, some energetic connection. I don't know. I don't always buy into that, but I'm like, that's so weird that your C2 is always off to the left field, and so is the dog's. I have seen that. I don't know how to attribute that to something,
Relate
I
that off.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
So do you mention that to your patients then? If you're like, huh, if they do something, maybe it's like a postural thing as their,
sure do.
I don't know how they
Yep.
cut something or whatever, and they can tweak that to give that little advantage.
I don't necessarily say, oh, you and your dog are doing this, maybe you should try that. But it'll be
Hmm.
are you working your dog both directions? In dog show
Right.
land, we work to the left all day long. Why aren't you
Right.
working your dog to the right? And yourself included. So when you adjust
Hmm.
these handlers that run around in that same circle, 1,800 times a day or whatever, you're gonna see the same things in their pelvis or their neck or their shoulders as the dog does. Even though it's quadruped versus biped, you're gonna see some similarities. So we talk about that too. Like, please work your dog both ways.
Yeah. So then that kind of leads, weird concept, but
Yeah,
so that leads
odd.
into that next question of what makes it when you're assessing a performance dog versus just general wellness care? Like, do you do something different? Are you more focused on one area than the other, or everyone gets the same?
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of evaluate everyone the same, but I'm looking for specific things in certain dogs. Your average wonderful pet owner comes in and they kind of get the once over and I kind of hone in on the big factors. If I've got an agility dog, I really make sure to check toes. They're coming off
Hmm.
contacts. You get like 3 toes on and 1 toe off. Conformation dogs, I really check pelvis. You see a lot of leaning going around the corners. Not that I
Hmm.
don't check it in other dogs, but I really pay special attention. Obedience dogs constantly looking up and to the right, check that atlas hard. And sometimes jaw too. So it is, I guess I'll say it is sport specific. I work on a lot of bite work dogs, lots of personal protection dogs, and you get a dog that only bites one direction. Why aren't we biting both directions? So
Yep.
I kind of, you got to put your mind in each sport that they do and see where maybe the weak spots are.
That question. I'm going to ask you a question that I get asked, I don't know, 10, 15 times a day when I'm at the show. All right. I have a massage scheduled for my dog. Do I get my dog massage first before I come to you, or do I get him adjusted first before I go to the massage? What's your answer?
Yeah. Honestly, I tell them it doesn't matter. Like if I'm
Yeah.
working on a dog long term where we can try, like, all right, get the massage first, let's see how he feels, and vice versa, and how the dog responds, great. At a dog show, you're in the ring in 3 hours, let's get whatever we can get done.
Yeah.
And I do think it can be dog specific, but not a ton. That's personal opinion. I know people that are very like, always get a massage first and then an adjustment because it'll be easier, it'll be easier to adjust. And I've seen it described the other way too, like you want to adjust them first and then the massage will help it stay in place. I've heard that too. I'm
Right.
not sure I'm sold on either one.
Right.
It's kind of like, do you adjust bottom first or,
Yeah,
neck first? It's kind of which one do dealer's
six
choice.
of one, half a dozen of another. It's fine.
I'll dive in with a question. So mine's going to be more like relationship focused because I know the laws out there in Colorado changed a couple years ago. And so, how have your relationships evolved and changed and grown over your 13 years? And I'm sure you've got great relationships with some vets down there. And How do those kind of play into everything that you do? And does that make sense?
So
Is there a question in there? Talk about your relationships.
I kind of know what you're saying. I think I know what you're saying. I've
Yeah.
where they'll shoot me a text, be like, I'm sending so and so your way. We've done XYZ. I don't know where else to go, but the dog still has some decreased range of motion or pain. I think sometimes vets get a little lost in, a dog show person comes and go, my dog, or an agility person, my dog was, a second and a half under their normal time, fix it. And the dog isn't lame, x-rays are great. Sometimes they'll put him on a course of pain meds, like, oh man, we're still a second behind. And that's kind of when they send him to us chiropractors for fine tuning. Because it's not necessarily we're having an illness and we're bringing them to wellness. We're going above that. And
Right.
so I have really some great veterinarians that'll send me a message. Some of them are still like, well, we got to really dig, and they'll send it to specialists. And not that that's not a great thing. More information is always better than less. But I find that sometimes those people who are looking for nuance get kind of lost because people don't know what to do with them. So they end up finding their way to me some way or another. And I get a lot of breeders that come to me as well. I'm a breeder myself, so people are looking for, have you seen this developmentally, or does chiropractic work for puppies, or is this the goofy puppy hood, or are we worried about a dog not having clean movement down the road, things like that. So I've worked with some reproductive veterinarians who will send them to me, be like, well, x-rays look great, even though they're mostly jello, don't know what else to do.
Yeah. But that's awesome that you're able to, create those relationships and get to that, point. Not everybody can text everybody. I mean, you can, but you know what I mean? Like, that's awesome that
Yeah,
you've
I've been fortunate. I've got a handful of them.
absolutely. Yeah.
Speaking on the dog show world, you've seen it kind of probably go up and down over the last, let's say, 10 years, the last decade. I know that the relationship with a lot of this more performance style focused therapies and treatments have, in my opinion, I've seen them start to grow here in the Colorado area. I'm not sure if that's true across the nation entirely. But where do you kind of see our involvement with, the show, the growth of the show, or just in performance and general care for dogs overall as a profession?
I think that we've grown a lot and there's still more room to grow. I really do. We kind of mirror the dog or the horse industry in some ways. When we see a therapy come up in horses, it'll come into dog land pretty soon. And I think we're kind of seeing that. In addition, we're seeing it go into like more pet communities. Like your wonderful weekend warrior who loves to do 14ers, like, yeah, your dog probably needs to be adjusted. We didn't pre-train for this. So, they come and they got their dog painful, so we work on stretching. So it's kind of a roundabout way to say, yes, I think that we have more room to grow, especially since we're trickling over into pet land and weekend warrior land.
14ers, 1,400 feet elevation for everyone from the Midwest that doesn't know what a 14er is.
Yes, the mountains. I'm from the Midwest. I should have known to elaborate on that.
I
Like
tried two
14ers.
14ers and the first one I almost died flat out, straight up. Didn't make it. Nope. The second one, it took me, oh my gosh, I don't know. It didn't help that I went with like a professional runner. And so he went ahead and he did
Gosh.
2 14ers in the time it took me to do one. And yeah, hardest thing I've ever done in my life, literally. And I've given birth. So
That does not appeal to me at all. People are like, oh my God, do you want to do a 14er? You must do it all the time. Nope, never done
no,
it. Doesn't appeal to me. I've
no.
got enough manual labor to do here on the farm. I'm all right.
Yeah. I'm very proud to say I've now completed a 14er, but zero desire to ever do one ever again.
That's a
No.
resume builder, I think.
Oh my
You
gosh.
should put that on there. Yeah.
There's no way I'll do it again. But yeah, so I could see how the dogs, like, yeah, they just go. They would definitely need some work after that. I don't think I could walk for a week after that. So,
Some of them really struggle, and that's a serious conversation I have to have with people. Like, and sometimes they'll kind of put it in their head, like, so how long have you been training your dog for this? And they kind of look at me like, oh, well, he was really excited. I'm like, there's something to be said for a warm up, for, working during the week, taking your dog for a short hike on the week. Because I think sometimes like a
Right.
dog's enthusiasm, we see that as he's enthusiastic, therefore he must be okay and fit enough to do it. And then come Monday, Tuesday morning, the dog is in wicked amounts of pain, and they usually end up in the ER at their regular vet. They get pain meds, but they need a little bit more support after that. So that can be a tough one for some of these die-hard hikers.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I
then,
feel like
excuse me, with that question, like what's a red flag that for handlers that you're like, ooh, if you just start to see this in your dog, like obviously not when they're doing that, but like what's something that people can pay attention to? That they're like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not good.
So Again, sport dependent. Agility, like suddenly they don't want to take a jump. They'll go around a jump, or they're starting to clip bars, meaning like their rear end will kind of fall and they'll clip a bar and drop a bar. That's an automatic NQ, which kind of sucks. With dog show land, you'll see things like the dog will do a lot of leaning. So the dog goes around the ring, they stand up for the judge. They put their legs in the right spot, right? They'll stack the dog for the judge, and you'll see this. They'll wait there only on that external rear leg. That's why I always check pelvis. And you'll see that even in photos of the specials, the champions lined up in the ring, and they're all doing this. And people go, oh my gosh, and suddenly the dog doesn't want to hold a stack. So they'll be standing and they'll move that leg forward. Stack them again, and they'll move that leg forward. So you'll see little nuances like that. Obedience, crooked sits all day. Instead of sitting like right square next to their handler and looking up, you'll get kind of this behavior. They don't want to look up, or they won't sit nice and straight underneath themselves. So it's rarely lameness. It's rarely like packing a leg, going three-legged. It's rarely chewing on my feet because my legs hurt. It's really subtle that you have to kind of have a keen eye to see. And a lot of times most handlers will catch on it. Owner handlers, if they've had that dog long enough, they'll catch it too. But it can be a tough one to kind of spot from across the room.
Yeah. Huh. I wouldn't have thought like just you can see in the picture. I mean, it makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
The sports animal chiropractic world is obviously totally new territory for me. So again, I've learned so much from all of our guests. Yeah, every time we do a podcast recording, I'm like, oh my gosh, I learned so much on this one. We had a raw food diet one. It was great. Now I'm learning all about agility things. Anyways, I'm a chiropractor. I'm not an animal chiropractor, though. What's one myth about chiropractic in sports that you'd love to debunk? Or is there one?
Oh my gosh. Thank you for asking that question.
Oh, sure.
Oh my goodness. I think there's a lot of people out there thinking that we are karate chopping dogs and doing like elbow drops on these dogs. They think we're out there like crunching animals. We're not. It is 9 times out of 10, I get done working on a dog and they go, oh, that's it? Yeah, like I did a lot, by the way, but it's not this violent, over the top TikTok stuff that you're seeing.
I saw that guy from Germany.
I hope he gets bit. Like,
I
he's
block
not.
all of those. I can't even stand to
Yeah.
watch them. I can't. I block them. I can't even see them. So I always tell people like this is not going to be as fireworks as you think. You're not going to hear these giant pops and clicks. It's not like that. And quite frankly, you see these guys and they're like right up on the dog. I'm like, they're going to turn around and get nailed in the face. Like, you are so lucky. It's bad technique. It's poor. I mean, honestly, at that point, if you're that aggressive, it's bad animal husbandry. I think one of my mentors, Dr. Pedro Rivera, he's like, have quiet, soft hands. You want a second date. And I think that is
Yeah.
the biggest kicker. Like, you want a second date. You don't want to jump in all over this dog and have it hate you and then have
I'm
to
using
beg
that
it to
one.
let you touch it. Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's
Pedro's a
good.
good guy. I mean, he's been a fabulous
That's good.
mentor. So I've always used that one.
I think my favorite is when somebody's like, "Are you going to start?" I was like, "I'm already done." Like,
Yes.
what?
Yes.
I'm
What
not
are you
just
doing? Are
petting
you
your
doing it right
dog for
now? Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh God.
Gosh, what do people think that we're doing out there?
I truly
Well, it's
think that
because
they're
they
worried
say
about
these
us like
videos.
karate chopping.
Yeah.
Like people are like, "Are
Yeah.
you going to fracture their back?" I'm like, "Oh my God." Like even on my worst day, if I was like, "This is the end," it's not going to happen. That's not how anatomy works. Come on.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Yeah.
dang
So,
media, man.
yeah.
I
I got a good
mean, yeah.
question for you, mainly because I get this one a lot too, and I think that you'd be really good at providing some advice for this. And I know that we're kind of wrapping up here with some quick fire, but this one's a little more in depth. Especially as a breeder, but actually someone that works in the performance world where we work with dogs at a very young age before they had their complete maturity.
Hmm.
When it comes to when should I start to have my dog be worked on, whether it be for performance, whether it be for maintenance, whether it be for prevention, when is a good time to get your dog in to start getting them used to the chiropractic treatment?
Yeah, I get asked that all the time. I tell them like right away. And it's not necessarily that the dog is a mess already as a baby puppy, but I want them to like me. I want them to come down the hall, at my clinic. I work at Under the Sun Doggy Daycare and Training, and I want them to come down the hall with like so much enthusiasm because they love to see Dr. Rachel. What I struggle with is a dog being trained in whatever sport they're being trained in, and then they have an injury, and their first time meeting me is when they're hurt. And usually they're, I don't know, depending upon the sport, 18 months, 2 years, so maybe a little bit of fear period, and it's overwhelming and they don't like me. So bring those, like if it's a person who brings in their 4-year-old competition dog or their 4-year-old show dog, bring in your puppy so it can sit there and hang out, and I'll give it cookies and give it some snugs. And we do like a fake adjustment. We'll pretend, kind of get some hands on. I think that's really important for dogs to learn how to be handled. And I think that that's something that the dog show world does a really good job at, because I mean, they have to be touched by the judge every time they walk
Okay.
in the ring. But for agility and obedience dogs, they struggle. Come on in, let me pet the puppy. I don't charge if the puppy is under 4 months old. Just bring him in, let me snug on the puppy and give him some treats.
Great way to get puppy snuggles.
I was just going to ask, that being said, what's a really cool case that you've had recently? Was that going to be yours, Karen? I knew I'm
Yes.
going to give it to you. I'm going
It's
to give it to
okay.
you. That one's your question. What's a really
All right,
great
what's
case,
your
satisfying
favorite
case?
case?
Yeah.
Man, I wish I had a heads up for this one. I don't know. I can't think of one offhand.
Okay, what's the most heartbreaking case that you've had then?
I
Would you
think
go
that
with
there's a
Yeah.
there?
lot of people that don't understand what pain looks like in a dog. If I could educate people on that, you need to know what pain looks like. I've had people bring their dogs in like, well, after agility weekend, he's sore for about 3-4 days and then he feels better. I'm like, so what does sore look like? Well, he limps and he can't get on the bed for about a week. And, we wait it out. And I'm like, that is pain. Oh no, he's really happy and he still eats. Still pain.
Hmm.
So it's not necessarily a heartbreaking case, other than those pain needs to be taken into account when you're doing sports or any kind of competition with your dog. So, I mean, it can be heartbreaking at times where I have to have that moment of, your dog does still love you. Your dog does want to play the game, and they're playing the game through pain because they love you. And I think that sometimes that can be a tough pill to swallow, that, the dog wants to do agility, but it can't get over the jumps anymore. And it takes the jump down, and then the dog falls, and the owner goes, but he was so happy because he was playing with me. And he was happy, but that's pain. So that's been a really hard thing that I've had to learn over the years, is how to present that to people in a way that's effective, not guilt tripping, but also reality.
So, what is the way that you do that? Is just you walk them through like, hey, this is what pain looks like. Your dog is doing it because they love you.
Yeah,
And
that's
like,
actually
how do
how I
you
say
get
it.
through to people
That's how I say it.
just
They're
through
like,
that?
well, he's limping. And I said, if he's limping, he's in pain. Well, he's so happy. I said, sometimes I have, I have a sore arm and I'm still happy. Most of the time, dogs are so stoic. The way that they process pain is really different. So by the time you see pain behaviors, it's pain,
It's bad.
and kind of having that sit down of, if they can't get on the bed, that's pain. It's something is preventing them. And I really don't want to frame it as like, your dog's in pain and you should know better. But I think a dog's enthusiasm can really trick us into thinking that they're only a little bit sore, as opposed to pain, especially when it's
Hmm.
recurrent.
Well, that was my question. So thanks, Byron.
You're welcome. Anytime.
I've got two last questions, maybe, I guess. One relating to the animal chiropractic as a whole, and kind of your view and thoughts and opinions on where do you see animal chiropractic going? As you know, I'm sure you're aware there's like 19 states working on legislation right now. Kind of,
Yeah.
where do you see animal chiropractic going?
It's a really generic question. I think that there are more people looking towards all-in-one clinics, so to speak. Like, they want massage, acupuncture, chiropractic modalities, like laser, whatever. They kind of want it all in one, as opposed to having to pick. Like, I'm going to see the chiropractor. I find that there's a lot of people who do utilize all those modalities, but they have to go here for this one and here for this one. And eventually, with some people, it kind of falls off. I think that's what people want, which is really hard. If I'm going to a dog show, right? I mean, I don't have a massage therapist on staff. Well, there's a lot of those people all there. So I have had people, breeders or handlers, bring in dogs that aren't even entered in the show, because, like, man, we have everyone here. Let's get everyone tuned up.
Yeah. So kind of that collaborative, everyone's looking for
Yeah,
that collaborative relationships. Yeah.
yeah.
This is a fun question. Again, I like the left field ones, but if you were not a chiropractor or animal chiropractor, what would you be doing?
You'd asked me this
Climbing
10 years
14ers
ago.
for a living?
God, no. Oh my gosh. No, not my jam. No. I think if you'd asked me this 10 years ago, I would have wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. If you would ask me this today, I'd love to be a rancher. I really think that I would have dove into that lifestyle head first. So I have my own hobby farm. I've got a variety of species and I love it. Unfortunately, it's definitely in a different realm than being an orthopedic surgeon. Yeah.
Sure.
What's your
Couple
favorite
of
species?
Obviously.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like on your farm, what is your favorite? Like, oh, this is my baby. Like you would fight somebody to the death.
My mammoth donkeys. So,
Okay.
so there's mini donkeys, standard donkeys, and burros, and then there's mammoth donkeys. So rideable, 15 hands or taller. They're a critically endangered species with the Livestock Conservancy. So I also have Maishan hogs, which are critically endangered, and yaks, which are on the threatened list, actually. So everything on my property has low population that needs conservation. So that's kind of my jam over here.
Do you adjust them too?
I do sometimes. I should more.
Okay.
I should more. I haven't adjusted a horse or a donkey for that matter in a
I'm on
long
my
time.
way. I'm
Yes,
on
come
my
on
way.
up, Doc.
Get
Like
there.
I
I'm
have a
on my way.
pregnant Jenny who is so uncomfortable right now. She's not due till
Aw,
June, and I'm like, honey, you got a
gosh,
ways to go. So she could
Honey,
use an
girl.
adjustment.
Oh,
we'll talk soon.
Yes, yes, come on up. They could use
Do
it.
you guys remember like PBS, I think it was, or I don't know, one of those learning channels where it's like the more you know. Like that's what I feel like needs to be my like picture every time we do a podcast. I'm learning again so much. So much. The more
maybe we
you
could put that
know.
little. We could
That
put that little thing in there.
that
Yeah.
needs to be like right here for me, right here. The more you know, the little rainbow.
Awesome. What? Any other last minute parting thoughts, questions you have for any of us or for you? Anything that we didn't cover that you're like, I really wish they would have asked me this.
Particularly, you asked some really wonderful questions, and I really appreciated that. It was nice to be able to share this from my viewpoint and where I've been in it for as long as I have. So I really appreciate you asking me to be on the show. This was wonderful.
It's
Yeah.
great. It was all
Absolutely.
Byron. It was his idea.
Way to go, Doc. Well done.
Stop.
Yeah. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day too. I know it's a little crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Always something, always something. I've got a litter of puppies,
Hmm.
and they're keeping me busy.
Nice.
Oh, the puppy snuggles. Cool.
Nice.
Well, we appreciate it, and we thank everybody for listening to another one of our episodes. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you get all of our new episodes when they come out every 2 weeks, and we'll catch you guys next time on our next podcast.